Hey everybody, it's Chris from Shooting the Ish along with George.
How you doing?
And we just wanted to give another heartfelt shout out to the Philippines. We've been talking to people all throughout the week on the Facebook page. A lot of crazy things going on down there. There's a lot of ways that us out there could help out. I would suggest everyone contact the Philippines Red Cross and see what they could do. Pretty disastrous situation as the country's made up of 7,000 plus islands. Think of Hawaii on a massive, massive scale. If what the scientist was saying last week is true, then the shorelines of these islanders are getting pushed in every time there's a big storm. And it's being in threat of going the way of those islands in Papua New Guinea and just getting completely overtaken by the earth and weather and Mother Nature. And, you know, hopefully they could fix it up and repair it and guard against new storms. And, you know, we're hoping and praying for them. So again, everybody, thank you for whoever's supporting them out there. And if you could look into what you could do to help out. Also, today, me and George are joined again by our good buddy Brian Williams, the third co-host. He's back.
What's up, guys? How's it going? Brian,
it's been so long.
It has been, Brian.
Brian, what have you been doing, man?
Well, I just wrapped up a film last week.
I know, we heard some clips of it.
Oh yeah, we got sent over some clips.
Don't worry about those clips. Don't worry about that.
I like how George is like, you know, it's like a light bulb just went off. You know, as soon as you said that.
Did you hear those clips that we played?
How could I not hear those clips? They were brilliant.
Well, good job. I think you're doing a really good job with your acting career.
Hey, I've had some help.
It should be noted that you're coming onto our show just like a wrecking ball.
Yeah.
I like to put that. I want to put that behind me, but just me. It gotta be. Oh, do you want me to say?
Came in like a wrecking ball. I never hit so hard in love. All I wanted was to break your walls. All you ever did was wreck me.
Ooh.
Yeah, you wrecked me.
Brian, how'd you feel when Miley Cyrus stole that song from you?
Oh, I was heartbroken last time I checked.
Unfortunate things.
And it happens. Well, that's the music business, you know. That's a whole different beast altogether, you know.
So Brian, since you've been off the show for so long, I want you to start the conversation.
You want me to start the conversation?
Yeah.
Well, in terms of my end, in terms of the news that I have, we can get into Mark Wahlberg's rant at a screening for his film Lone Survivor. And basically what he was ranting about was how, you know, Hollywood actors, like, you know, brag about their training and in terms of, like, you know, the preparation that they go through in order to play a role, like, i.e. a Navy SEALs or a military person. And he was just basically saying how these guys, you know, like, they basically take it for granted, the privilege that they have been given in Hollywood, and how they, you know, think that what they do is really hard. And when in reality, they spend 2 hours in the chair doing makeup or getting their faces made up and all that. So, I mean, apparently, like, the media, what the hell?
The Marky Mark, was this playing?
Yeah, I feel it. I'm sure he's not feeling it. So.
Well, okay, so that basically was directed at Tom Cruise, right?
Well, actually, you know, the media try to, like, you know, turn it, like, they try to twist it in the sense that, you know, he was directing it at Tom Cruise because apparently he made a comment when someone asked him what it was like to be away from his daughter Siri, and he said something along the lines that it was like, you know, being away at war or something like that, you know.
I guess, yeah, it seems like everything got twisted.
Yeah,
it was a game of telephone, I guess.
Right, yeah, it got twisted, and apparently Mark Wahlberg was, like, you know, somebody asked him if he was directing his shots at Tom Cruise, and he said that it was not the case, and that he, you know, basically just saying that, you know, he respects time. And now,
What's going on over there? George, what is that? There's like a lot of scratchy noise coming on your end.
Yeah.
It's a plane passing. I can call Burbank Airport or LAX if you guys like and tell them not to fly any planes over my house, but I don't think they'll listen to me.
All right, that's okay.
Yeah, so basically, Mark Wahlberg was not really directing his shots at Tom Cruise. And it was just basically at Hollywood in general. He was just, like, I guess, frustrated. And apparently, I just got something on the news feed that this particular SEAL, former Navy SEAL Marcus Luttrell, whose life inspired the film Lone Survivor, was there.
Is that Mark Luttrell?
No.
Oh, I'm feeling good. That song's waking me up.
Oh, good.
I know, it makes you feel good.
Right, because he's feeling the vibration.
Marky Mark looks like John Cena in this video.
Marky Mark does look like John Cena. How did Marky Mark or John Cena get their positions?
Mark, if I'm not mistaken, was through his brother, brother being with New Kids on the Block. And
that's how that all happened.
Man, I wish I could play White Bread.
Yeah.
If I could play White Bread, I'd be set.
Yeah, you just gotta slap a wig on yourself. You'll be all right.
Maybe in 50 years, when the country becomes even more diversified, I would be White Bread.
Yeah.
But now I'm just the guinea henchman, unfortunately.
Right. You know what? It reminds me of that episode of South Park. The idea, I think it was an episode where people from the future came back into the present. And everybody was like all, looked like they had alopecia in South Park, and they were just all orange.
Right.
So like, you might have a shot there if that was the case.
So, Brian, what else is going on?
Well, I mean, again, they were just saying the former Navy SEAL, Marcus Luttrell, was basically saying that something else happened, and that's why he went on that rant. They didn't specify what exactly happened before the Q&A, but it was something that really spurred him to be pissed off and all that.
Well, I will say the one thing with like actors and musicians and people who were in that primetime slot is there is a lot to worry about. It might not be physical labor, but every move you make counts because it could all go away really at any second.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's very few people who are quote unquote bulletproof. Well, who would be bulletproof in Hollywood?
Tom Cruise.
Probably. I would say.
Jump on a couch. Yeah, why not? Do whatever.
Right. I was gonna say Charlie Sheen. That guy. He could punch a nun and people would still love him.
Yeah, Charlie Sheen does have.
People
were rooting for him when he was on a coke binge. When does that happen?
Well, because that was fun. He wasn't harming anybody. He's done a lot of bad stuff in the past with his family and whatnot, but this particular instance, he wasn't hurting anybody. He was providing a lot of entertainment.
I was working right next to CBS Studios when Charlie Sheen was going on his rant and when he got fired and everything. And there was people basically put up like artistic pictures of Charlie Sheen's face on like plastered to the side of CBS Studios, the wall, and it said like "Win Charlie Win" or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, like people were rooting for him against the corporation of CBS. Basically.
Right. I think the charm to Sheen is the fact that he makes all these. He made all these mistakes and still makes some mistakes from time to time, but he owns up to it. He doesn't he's not the type of person that blames other people for his mistakes. And that's part of I think that's his charm, as opposed to say like a Lindsay Lohan who would blame everyone but herself, for her problems, if that makes sense. Right.
Do you remember that interview where the woman sat down with Charlie Sheen and he was completely high?
How can
it was
anyone
a
forget?
Blonde reporter, and he was being completely direct. He was like, "I'm on a rocket ship. I'm doing beautiful things here," and she was like, "Why were you hooking up with prostitutes?" And he's like, No. She said, "Why are you with porn stars?" And he's like, "'Cause I know what I'm gonna get, and it's fun."
That's true. You want to test drive the car before you buy it, and you can see a lot of virtual demos of porn stars before you go with them. So
But
You kind of have an idea of what you're expecting.
Right. Yeah, remember he was basically held up in that wherever his house was with like 5 porn stars. And he was calling them his angels or it was something like that.
His goddesses, his smoking hotties.
The goddesses. And I remember the goddesses were doing like interviews on CNN and stuff like that. That was a crazy situation.
Oh, yeah.
And then he got another deal, which probably states that if he fucks around, the deal goes right away.
Right.
What is that show called?
Anger management.
Mm.
Yeah. But I mean, that thing is still on the air, surprisingly, so must be doing something right.
What are you talking about? The show after like 1 week, 2 weeks of it being on the air last year or the year before, it got 90 episode order. 90.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Not like a season, 90. It's like 5 seasons.
Wow, that's crazy. What station is it on?
FX.
Okay. Is it good? Is the show good? It's just a Charlie Sheen show, basically, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's more like what you see is what you get. Yeah.
Yeah, Charlie Sheen wearing shorts and looking burnt out.
That's a stretch.
Again, that's your comment, not mine.
So that's Hollywood. It's a crazy fun place or a crazy weird place.
Oh, yeah. Well, I have some other news if you guys like to, if you care to.
Wow, Brian, you're on fire. You're talking twice in the episode?
Oh my goodness, Brian, where is this coming from? It was his hiatus.
Well, I had time to regroup. So, I mean, you guys heard of the actor Terrence Howard?
What? What'd you say, Brian?
Terrence Howard, the actor.
George, time out, George. The music's way loud. Brian's chopping up completely.
I know, I was doing it on purpose.
Oh. All right, I'll leave that in. What were you saying, Brian?
Well, all right, let's start. All right, keep going, I guess.
Do that again. Brian.
Oh, God. You're lucky I didn't lose my train of thought. So, Terrence Howard, who has a film out now, The Best Man's Holiday.
Ooh, I love this song.
Yeah, I do, too.
Turn like that song up.
I said I got it going on, baby.
Yeah.
And I'm a wire. Yeah. You're the king. So be my queen, if you know what I mean.
Where's Brian go? Brian, what was he saying?
You expect me to talk to this?
I could hear you. What were you saying? Just talk up a little, Brian.
All right, so Terrence Howard was on Bravo's Watch What Happened Thursday night.
I'm sorry, Brian. I love this song so much.
I'm sure you do, but did everybody get what I just said?
No.
What are you saying?
Okay, for the umpteenth time. Terrence Howard was on Bravo's Watch What Happens Live. It was Thursday night this past week, and somebody asked him in the audience about what happened with him losing the job in Iron Man 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So he basically was candid about how Robert Downey, Jr. cost him his job, and here I'm just going to read a little snippet from what he said. He said, "It turns out that the person that I helped become Iron Man when it was time to re-up for the second one took the money that was supposed to go to me and pushed me out."
Oh.
He was signed for a 3-picture deal, so what that means is that you did the deal ahead of time. It was going to be a certain amount for the first one, a certain amount for the second one, and a certain amount for the third one. So in the first one, he made like 4-point-something million, and he was supposedly guaranteed 8-point-something million for the second one. But they wanted to, I think Robert Downey wanted to renegotiate, and apparently Marvel and the Paramount, they just wanted to offer Terrence Howard 1/8 of what they were going to pay him for the second one. So instead he was going to get like $1 million, and he didn't like that. So
wow, so basically he's calling Don Cheadle cheap.
No, it was more like he said that. He blames it on Robert Downey because I think Robert Downey, because remember that film's success was due to him. So it's quite obvious that he's probably
due to who? Robert Downey or Terrence Howard?
Oh no, Robert Downey. Robert Downey made the first one.
Oh yeah, of course.
And he probably wanted to renegotiate, which is understandable. And remember, like by the time he got that role, his career was like kind of slowly going up, like on the upswing. Because, he was in and out of jail like it was nobody's business. It's hard.
Was he really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, in terms of, by the end of the decade, he was practically on a dead pool. People were, counting when was this guy going to croak? Because he just had a very serious addiction to, I forgot what drug it was. I'm assuming it was.
That's why my career's going nowhere. I don't have any addictions other than to women.
Well,
that's not going to get me. And no one's going to take that serious. No one thinks sex addiction is real. So maybe I should develop some sort of substance habit.
Well, George, you forgot one thing.
Yeah.
You have to have a career.
That's what I'm saying. I become an addict and then I have a career.
No, you have to have a career before you become an addict.
Says who?
Says me.
Oh no, yeah, Robert Downey. Okay, he was all messed up. I thought for a second you were talking about Terrence Howard. That's why, because before Hustle and Flow,
Terrence Howard said some things also during this telecast that I thought he made me look sane, and he was saying how God's gonna bless him. Robert Downey, he's talking about. I'm like, what the hell does this guy have up his sleeve and all that? It's like, really?
That's like that southern way of saying bless his heart when you mean he's a retard.
Yeah. Yeah, and he said that, he, what's his name, Robert Downey, he tried to call him, and he didn't call him back in 3 months when he was out of the job. So,
that's a big and stinky.
Yeah, that's a kind of shady move on Robert Downey's part.
Right.
I always thought Robert Downey was a really nice guy.
Well, who knows? This story's still unfolding, so it's only a matter of time before, the press, someone's going to get a hold of him and ask Robert Downey, what really happened. Most likely he'll probably dodge it, but, it's up to him if he wants to be candid or not. So. Are
you still playing that Mark Wahlberg music?
This is not Mark Wahlberg music.
This is Bob thing. Oh, no.
Okay, so that's that. George, in terms of your love addiction or sex addiction or whatever, do you have any more love advice for us this week?
I do. I thought of some stuff, and I thought of a few more things.
Now, what is this segment called?
This segment is called George's Game of Love.
Continue.
Brian, you should take notes.
I have a notepad right here.
Yeah, mental, physical notes, whatever you think is necessary.
Yeah.
So, now keep in mind the segment isn't always going to be about love advice. Sometimes it's going to be about things I've noticed in my past relationships, current endeavors, and future mistakes. Yeah. So I was thinking about something the other day.
Wow, that's interesting.
You didn't even get to it. What do you mean that's interesting?
Oh, I didn't know George thought like that. I didn't know
Chris insinuated that I don't think. So I'm just ignoring that comment. But I was thinking the other day for a little bit before I got sidetracked.
That is interesting.
Mm-hmm. So the card that women pull once in a while. Now, it doesn't happen to us because we're not married, right? Sometimes a guy might be in the mood, and the female counterpart says, "Oh, I don't feel good. I have a headache. I'm not in the mood to do whatever it is, what dirty things you have in your mind, man. I don't want to do any of that because I don't feel good." Whether or not it's the truth, that's what happens. So, as guys, we're supposed to just accept it and, move on, maybe beg a little bit, please, let me just stick the tip in, something like that. It won't bother you.
It won't bother you.
It depends. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do that, but it depends. So
you're selling yourself short.
So I've noticed that in the past I've turned down sexual advances by my significant other. Not only it's one specific person, but several. And I've noticed that women get very, very nasty when that happens. I don't know what it is, but I mean, are guys not supposed to feel crappy once in a while? Like you get home from work and you do have a headache, whatever it may be, and you lay down and the chick is next to you and she tries to, make her moves, which is cool. Most of the time it's completely fine. But once in a while you're just not in the mood, right? I mean, has that happened to you guys? You're just like...
A similar situation, not exactly what you're saying, because I usually don't feel that good.
Once in a while... if you're spending a lot of time with a woman, like almost every day, once in a while you're not gonna feel like up to it. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
so
also, if you have a girl who wants to go multiple times over and over and over, and your limit is like a couple, and if they're getting crabby at that point, that's like a problem.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a different issue, because if it's multiple times a day and then they're getting upset because you're not giving them enough, then
it's like fucking come on, I gotta go to work.
Yeah, that's a different story. But women get very nasty and upset, and if you look at the other side of it, if that happened to us and we got upset when that would happen, we would be big assholes, right?
I guess so.
Yeah, we would come off as a big asshole, but if we're not feeling good, women get very upset. Like, oh, you don't think I'm hot? You don't find me attractive? No, I'm with you, aren't I? I am with you, so I do find some level of attraction to you. Now, if you just close your mouth, I'll find you more attractive.
Oh, God. How often do you feel this way?
No, I'm just saying. Well,
I mean, how often has what you're saying happened to you?
It's happened a couple times. Enough for me to have remembered it and made a note of it, you know what I'm saying?
With different people?
Yeah. Yeah, they get upset, like mean, and they think that like I'm not into them anymore, and I don't want to be with them. And I'm like, no, it has nothing to do with that.
You know what? Here's what you do. If that situation ever happens in reverse, then now you could use those same words.
Yeah, but no one's ever really turned me down.
What I'm saying is that if the girl does that to you, and then and vice versa, when you go to make the move and she says she's tired, you could be like, you don't love me. You don't find me attractive.
I know, but think about...
You don't want to be with me anymore.
Think about the bullshit drama that you would have to then continue to act like afterwards, instead of saying, okay, just going to sleep. Like, oh, you're not in the mood? All right, whatever.
I just got in a fight with my mother, and I really need you right now.
I just spoke to my dad over the phone, and he has a corn on his big toe.
It might be cancer.
Oh, this is terrible. That's terrible.
So what is so this is your observation. What's your advice?
My advice, I don't know. I guess weather the storm. That's a good question. I didn't necessarily
call you out on that one.
No, it's cool because I should have some sort of advice. I consider myself a love disaster expert.
Hey, maybe you've run into something that's just making you wonder.
It was an observation. I've spoken to several other guys, and they say they're never not in the mood for sex, which I kind of find hard to believe. Like, sometimes they're just not in the mood for it, man.
Yeah, but you're low energy. That's why. Most guys are not.
I am low energy.
Oh, you gotta fix that. You gotta fix that, my friend.
No, I don't have to fix anything. That's the way I am.
So you like being low energy.
It's not whether or not I like it.
George,
it's just
do you lay in the bed and tell the girl, do what you want. I'll just be laying here.
Oh, I've done that.
Really?
I mean, and afterwards you kind of get into it. You know what I'm saying? Like I've dared girls, like I haven't been in the mood. Like, listen, I'm not in the mood, so you can have at it. And I don't think anything's gonna happen. Like my mind is not at that place right now. So if you want, be my guest. And if anything develops, we'll do it. And it's happened. Sometimes nothing happens. Then they get really upset. If you think they were upset before that, and then if they can't get you hard or whatever, then they're like, oh, then they want to kill you. Then they think you're cheating on them. Like, oh my God, what's the matter with you?
You sure you want to talk about all this?
I mean, I'm not calling
it. It is his segment, so yeah.
It's my segment. This is my love segment.
Love. This is your floppy boner. George's floppy boner.
It's floppy, but not during boner time.
What would a floppy boner be called?
I don't think
a tendon, a cartilage, or a...
That's an oxymoron.
Skin flap.
It can't be a floppy boner.
Yeah, it would have to be a floppy... what would it be?
Flaccid. One is flat.
Flaccid penis.
That's what it would have to be, because if a boner is the opposite of floppy. Sometimes when it's like half-mast, I guess.
When a guy has a boner, where's all that blood coming from? Like, it's definitely taking away from his brain upstairs.
Oh, yeah. Come on. You know that. You know that you're not thinking right when you're in that mood.
Someone told me, I heard your girlfriend said you were moving to Boston. And I said, really? I said that? You must have said that at some moment.
Well, girlfriend at the time, right?
Oh, yeah. And I said, that's interesting because I'd never heard that one before, but I guess I had said it.
Think about it. If someone was recording us when we were in, like, beast mode, and our thoughts are not there. Our thoughts are not there. So if someone had a recording of all the stupid shit someone has said when they're, like, getting into it, red-faced is the easiest way to put it of how you would sound. Yeah, my buddy came up to me and said, oh, you're having 3 kids and you're moving to Boston and all this. I said, what? Wait, slow down. What happened?
Yeah.
He said, I heard those were your words. And I said, yeah, but when?
Oh, are you kidding? I've promised road trips, vacations, weekend getaways. And the next few days, like, hey, George, when do you want to go up to, Saskatchewan or whatever? I'm like, what? What? I work. I can't do that. That's not what you said the other night. I was like, can't hold that against me. Can't hold that against me. That's inadmissible. Yeah, guys are dumb. So. Yes, we are. But you're absolutely right. The blood flow is robbed from the brain. It goes from the big head to the little head. Ah. So that's my observation. My advice is, I guess, weather the storm. Every advice you have is weather the storm. That's what I've been doing my entire life. I weather the storm. What happens if what happens if you turn the girl flat down or the girl's not if the girl's upset that you're not getting aroused by her? Well, usually woman, as Eva told me, to start using the term woman instead of girl. Chick is no good. No. She was upset with me. We'll air that episode later, but she was upset I was using the term girl. Yeah, she'll be all right. But as far as to answer your question, how do you deal with it? Most of the time during those situations, like, I'm ready to fall asleep, so I just kind of disengage and I don't feed the fuel. I don't fuel the fire, rather, and I just fall asleep. Okay. But that's most of the time. Like, I won't just be sitting there wide awake, feeling good and turn it down. You know what I'm saying? It's if you're tired or whatever. Well, you certainly have a very interesting lifestyle. I have my moments. I definitely have my moments. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's lonely. Aww. Sorry about that, George. Oh, it's okay, guys. You get used to it. Don't worry. You get used to being lonely. It's all right. Yeah. Thanks, Brian. Now I want to kill myself. Being in a relationship is overrated from what I'm hearing. So. What do you mean? It's not overrated. It's completely cool. Brian's going to find, like, the most
interesting situation and marry. He's gonna marry like someone from a very foreign country. What's the most foreign country on earth?
You gotta be shitting me, Fiji.
Yeah, he's gonna marry someone from Fiji. Yeah, he's gonna marry a Australian woman, or like a country you wouldn't hear much of, like Mongolia or Malaysia or some like little tucked away country.
Gonna go to Kazakhstan to find a chick. My sister, she get him. She get him.
That's what she thinks.
All right, well, George, thank you for letting us peer into your soul. It's quite informative.
It's not always a pretty sight, but thank you guys for peering.
But you're honest nonetheless.
I appreciate it. Always. I will always be honest, whether it hurts or feels good.
Aw. Hey, what happened with Obama and all that Obamacare stuff, Brian?
All right, so apparently this week he apologized for, quote unquote, letting the public down. This is due to the fact that, there was some, the affordable health care plan was not exactly, for everyone, if you will. And, they're supposed to be paying a certain amount, but I think it was a little higher than what people thought it would be. So he was facing an open revolt from members of his own party over the disastrous rollout of his signature health care law. And this was done on Thursday. And to quote him, he said, "There's no doubt that our failure to roll out the health care law smoothly has put a burden on Democrats, whether they're running or not." And basically...
Roll out.
Yeah. He basically wishes that he could, he could have executed that law a little better. That's basically it.
Yeah, I saw all the C-SPAN.
So are you guys?
It's not exactly that. That's not exactly what's happening. Rather,
I just wanted to know: are you guys, on that plan by any chance? Any of you guys?
No,
it's not a specific plan. No, you know what? I've spoken to a lot of people, and I'm very informed about the subject. I was very interested. I wanted to break it down. I knew about it, and we did the podcast about it several weeks ago. But nobody knows exactly what this means, how this affects you. And it's a big fucking deal. Excuse my French. It is a big, big deal. Basically, it's the Obamacare, as it's known. It's a nickname. It's the Affordable Care Act, right? So what it is a law being put into place, which was passed in 2010, mind you, that will make the insurance companies make completely new plans in order for everybody in the country to have health insurance. And everybody has to have health insurance. If you're an American citizen, you are required by law to have it. And if you don't, you pay a penalty. I think it's going to be like 2% of your yearly income, and that rises every year, but it will never go above 7%. Something like that. It's along those lines.
7%.
Yeah, 7%. It will never go above that, but it starts at like 2 or like 1.5, and then goes up to 7% of your yearly income. If you do not enroll in some sort of healthcare plan, that will be the penalty.
Within a year? Is that like within a year?
The deadline is going to be March, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be extended. I think it has to be extended. So what the issue here is, everyone was saying, or Obama was saying at least, that people that currently have private health care will not be affected by all these new plans that are coming out. And they said, don't worry, if you already have private health care, or if you already have health care through your job, you won't have to change anything, blah, 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 blah. What's happening now is all these insurance companies are rolling out brand new plans. And all the plans that people currently have are being phased out. So a lot of the people that are being phased out are having to choose from the new plans that are being instilled from these insurance companies. And more often than not, to get the same things that they had in their previous plan, they're going to have to pay more of the time. So that's what's happening, and that's why people are pissed.
By the way, speaking of which, now George, are you part of the DGS plan?
Why would I be a part of the Directors Guild?
I meant the don't get sick plan. That's what I meant.
But I am a part of the don't get sick plan, but sometimes I get sick. But I'm going to need to have insurance. You're going to have to. Even the cheapest one, I guess you're gonna have to get. Why? Because you're gonna be paying a penalty, and I guess it's not good. It's not fun.
Obama was pissed. Obama was pissed this week because as the Democrats and Republicans usually split down the middle, I guess like 67 of the Democrats jumped on the other side against it in favor of some other plan that was like a light version of Obamacare, and Obama threatened to veto using White House power.
Executive power. You mean executive power?
Well, I mean White House power.
Yeah. Wow.
So this was a case of White House down, and I guess he lost whatever political battle he was trying to fight.
Right.
It is a big deal, you know. Like certain presidents do certain things, but this is talking about changing the way people, drastically changing how much taxes people pay and stuff like that. It is a big deal.
It is. And it sucks. It's unconstitutional, basically.
You must go for 2 doctor's checkups a year.
Right.
Or else.
Penalty.
Or else give us money. What? How's that the penalty? The penalty should be, or else you must run 100 laps at the track. Should be something health-based. That should be, or you give us money. That's some thug gang shit.
That's what I'm saying. If they need a knock-around guy, they should call me. I'm looking for work.
Right. So yeah, they should run a lap like twice, and if they don't pass out, then they don't have to pay anything.
Right. Yeah. Physical, and if you fail the physical, then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not? Right. How about this? If you're in tip-top shape, you get free health care. If not, you got to pay for it.
Right.
Why not?
That'll give me incentive to get in great shape.
Yeah. I think you and everyone, the millions of Americans here, yeah, definitely.
If you're in bad shape, you got to pay for all the people in good shape.
Right. I mean, that's one way. That's like one way to combat obesity, because they say that obesity is a big problem here anyway.
It is. That's a good idea, but then everyone's gonna say, "Oh, that's discriminatory. You can't do that." And fat people have hearts too. Yeah, broken ones.
Actually, those that are about to give out.
Exactly. They're sputtering.
A couple of months ago, I felt my heart give me a little bit of
The what?
Go to the track and run, fat boy. That's what it gave me.
Yeah, when you're consuming orange glaze
donuts,
like ice cream toppings.
Chocolate wasn't good enough.
No, it's a creamsicle candy topping. Your heart's gonna give you a little bit of a push.
Every couple of months I see like a list comes out that says like fattest countries, and every time that list changes. America's up there, but Mexico is also up there.
I think Mexico is number 1 since the last one was July of this year. They said 70%. They said 70% of Mexicans are overweight, and almost a third are obese. 1/3 of them.
Now, is America also on that list because all the fat Mexicans are coming into America?
Oh yeah, they're right behind. America's right behind. There's like 31%, and it's followed by New Zealand, Chile, and Australia.
Wow, so, Brian, you must be looking at the same exact thing. Yeah, Canada, United Kingdom, Ireland, Luxembourg, and Finland. And then I saw a list maybe a month ago that said surprisingly Saudi Arabia had an obesity issue.
Good for them. I mean, that's terrible.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who else?
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. They're fat too?
I guess.
I find that hard to believe, right? It's like, what the hell what do they eat over there? Pork? Seriously?
No, they're Muslim. Do they eat pork?
They shouldn't. Then again.
Fat hungry bitch, that's a fat hungry bitch. 10 fingers on a titty bitch. She got the deep fried chicken wing necklace. Hot dogs in the motherfucking pocket. Right as like a lamb, wash it and jerking it. Living all night, get them with a hot stick. Push it far, real gross, I was telling it.
You know what?
Going down the bag full of old bacon strips. Next time I bitch, I'm like a pregnant. I gotta get her.
George, you done?
Yeah.
George.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Fat hungry bitch.
Well,
That's
no, but it's kind of funny because, like, I mean, have you guys ever met an overweight person who doesn't eat pork?
Who doesn't eat pork?
I don't eat pork, and I go skinny, fat, and muscular, and all stages in between.
Right.
Well, yeah, Muslims don't eat pork, and not every Muslim is skinny.
Right. I just find that interesting and somewhat amusing.
Yeah,
I'm eating pork tomorrow, actually.
There's one guy in Saudi Arabia that's 1,000 pounds.
Right.
Damn, 1,000 pounds.
A fat hungry bitch. Fat hungry bitch. That's a fat hungry bitch.
840-pound Saudi man died last week, and they're suing the Ministry of Health. Well, I think that's his own problem.
They're suing the Ministry of Health. Wow.
Why? Or yeah, that's like suing McDonald's because you bought so many supersized meals and all that. Well, technically there are other options out there.
Speaking of McDonald's, the McRib is back.
It's always back.
When did it leave in the first place? It should have stayed gone.
No, I think they bring it back every month. I think it's always there, but every couple of months they run that commercial that the McRib is back. What's so fucking special about the McRib?
I think it sucks, actually.
It's like a dog shit sandwich.
Have you seen it before it's cooked in like frozen form?
No.
Oh my god, no.
It how can I put this? It looks like white cardboard.
Really?
Well, it's straight up white cardboard. It filthy. I've tried it, like everybody. I mean, you have to try it. Especially when you're younger. Like, you know, when you're younger and fast food is like, you know, easy to come by. You don't have to like go into a restaurant and sit down. And you buy that stuff. You have to try all the new stuff, all the new sandwiches. These days I see all these new sandwiches and I don't understand why a grown person will go into a fast food place. I mean, other than Subway, even though I don't like Subway, but it's technically like a regular sandwich. It's not deep fried or that processed, I guess, depending on what you get. Depending on what you get.
Processed.
It is processed, but it's still like a sandwich. You know, there's some veggies on it, whatever.
Right.
But I see like grown people like eating full meals at these fast food places. It's just like, come on, man, this shit is not good for you.
I know. People feed that to their kids, too. It's like killing your family.
Once in a while, I get it. Why not? Once in a while, if you really like something, okay, once every 2-3 weeks, we'll go to Mickey D's, we'll go to Burger King, Wendy's, whatever.
Yeah, but it's a dangerous situation to set that up as a treat for your kid because it's like you're putting that on a pedestal as like, this is what you get if you're really good. Is that what you get? You get death food? You're really good?
I know, they should
you're
be
really
rewarded
quiet
with
in the car, you get the chicken nuggets.
I don't know why, but that actually reminds me of all these like family films that come out, you know. The only reason why they're put out there is just to like give the parents like a peace of mind, like, all right, 2 hours for these kids to be away from me. That's all, you know, or whatever, how long these films are, you know. Same thing with fast foods. You know, you can equate that thing as well.
Yeah, they'll behave if we promise them this.
Right.
Bitch, that's a fat hungry bitch. 10 twinkles on a titty bitch. She a motherfucking star. Look at the size of her arm. Shake a limb, make a lock, black hard. Make that bitch get out, fill her up with car.
Stupid. So yeah, McDonald's is still around and still doing damage or making people happy. However you want to look at it. Brian, what else is going on?
Well, according to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, the western black rhinoceros has officially been declared extinct as of November 6th of this month.
Damn!
So, yeah, you know, it's a subspecies of the black rhino. It's native to Africa. The western black rhino was last seen in 2006. And it was listed as critically endangered by the organization that I just told you about, the IUCN, which warns the northern white rhino is teetering on the brink of extinction. Wow. And in the case of the western black rhino and northern white rhino, the situation could have had a very different result if the suggested conservation measures had been implemented. You know,
we're going to kill off every animal. We're going to have to eat each other. We're gonna have no more.
I mean, that's what solely is about. Yeah. Well, I mean, in terms of the precautions that they could take is taking a couple of them out of the wild and I guess breeding them in a zoo.
Yeah, I know the argument for zoos is that it protects them from poachers. It just looks so sad when you go to the zoo. You feel like you're supporting some form of slavery. Yeah,
but I mean, the reality is that's what was killing most of them for the most. Is that it's the ivory that these poachers were going after.
Right.
Which is why this particular species is extinct, and now you have the white rhinoceros teetering on the brink. So if this organization or any other organization that's in existence could do something in order to take whatever's left in the wild and put them in a zoo, if they can do that and start breeding them, they might have a chance. Not a great one, but they might have an outside chance of surviving.
They might have a chance, kid. Well, I have actually some more animal science news.
Oh, really?
Okay, crows. You know those guys that dive bomb the people in Japan and smash their face up?
That's called kamikazes, but who's keeping track?
Well, yeah, in Japan, those crows are spiteful. They actually dive bomb people. Anyway, crows are very intelligent. As we know, birds have a high social structure. But crows can actually conspire with another, share information about which humans they don't like. And they can remember you by your face.
By your face?
They could remember you by your face and plan a coordinated attack against you.
Really?
Now, this happens in Japan a lot. Now, I don't believe that this would be happening too much in America without someone pulling out a shotgun. But, I don't know how they did the study on them, but they are very smart, can read your face, can coordinate attack against you.
Sounds scary.
Now, I wonder if pigeons will have that same effect.
I don't think they think at all.
They just like to eat and shit and fly. Eat, shit, fly. In no particular order.
Shit and fly, that's it.
Yeah. And also in
Oh my god, what is this for?
I don't want no
You crowbarred this into the show.
I was just wondering if pigeons feel the same.
I'm sure they do. Good choice, by the way.
But that's interesting with the crow thing.
Oh man.
Yeah, in other news, scientists, I guess, discovered 3 new species of marsupials, which basically these guys just look like little mice. But they have a pouch, I guess, so they're marsupials. Anyway, these guys, their mating habit is this. George, you'll be interested. They have sex so long that the men start to disintegrate.
What do you mean disintegrate?
Yes.
The male jumps from female nest to female nest all day on a non-stop binge of sex. During mating season, until the man becomes physically aged within weeks.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And can no longer perform or even live. His body is basically falling to shreds.
So he's just getting old, right?
Yeah, you could see it getting older as the weeks go on. What was that like for the females? They're just hanging out at home, and then every couple minutes a new guy runs in, just has their way with them.
Imagine what the guy feels like after he's done. He's like, oh shit, he just dies.
Bad news, you're gonna die. There's the bomb for you.
Also, in terms of new discoveries, there was a new human body part discovered.
Really?
They found a new ligament in the knee that most people have. I believe it is called the ALL.
Is this? It's just turned up? Like, what have they found it in athletes? Is that what?
I'm trying. I guess from doing knee surgeries and knee repairs, I don't know how they did so many of these and never noticed this part. But it's like a little side ligament in the knee, and it was a body part that was never previously known about, or it was never previously documented when they're, pasting you all together.
Yeah, I think now, because there's more of these ACL and MCL injuries than ever, I guess they're going into the knees so often that they know what's what. I guess they thought it was just a part of another ligament, possibly. And now they're realizing that it's its own thing. Because I guess back in the day, how often did someone tear their ACL or MCL and had to get it replaced? Now, this year, there's like 20 people per year in all of sports, at least, that get this. In professional sports, I'm saying only, that we know of. And imagine everywhere else, hundreds probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And at this point, the guys are so physically conditioned, it's unnatural. It's unnatural strength against unnatural strength, and the body's just not built for it. So things just tear right off the bone.
Oof.
I mean, in the old days, it was just like guys, it was like rugby, guys just running into each other and pulling each other down. Now this is like really like truck force collision.
Well, that's why all this stuff is going on with the NFL and with concussions and whatnot, because guys now are so conditioned that their bodies are basically weapons. So they want to make it safer for these people. And I can understand that, but by limited concussions, you're going to increase lower body injuries. Now, if you say you can't hit in the lower body and you can't hit above the shoulders, so that gives people running, these guys can run like 10 miles an hour, right? Let's say. Mm-hmm. They're very fast. It gives two people running opposite directions, like 10 miles an hour each. You give them a space of like 2 square feet to hit, running full speed. Otherwise you're going to get a flag. How's that going to work? So at the same time, as it's good for the people that are involved. It's healthy. People won't get hurt as much, but at the same time, the integrity of the sport will suffer. No question. No question about it. They're even contemplating removing home plate collisions in baseball, which there's like 5 a year.
Well, how would they go around that?
That's what I don't know. I don't know. I mean, if someone's blocking the plate, are you going to just give up and let them tag you out?
Yeah, kind of. It reminds me
maybe
of
a coin toss.
Yeah, they're going to stop and play footsie for a minute.
All right, I don't know why, but it reminds me of that quote from that. Remember that Gene Hackman film with Owen Wilson, and he says, "Evade and survive, and we will bring you home." I don't know why.
Oh, and enemy at the gates. Was that it?
Yeah, something
behind
like that.
Enemy lines.
So, one of those.
One of those enemy movies.
Yeah, exactly. One of those. I don't know why. Like you talking about the idea of them like prohibiting home collisions, kind of reminded me of that.
George, you'll like this. More sexual science discoveries about female bonobos, which are basically, they look like orangutans. So it's just a random primate, distant cousin of ours.
They have what?
They're
boners?
No, they're bonobos. They're called. It's like it's another species of ape-like creature. Uh-huh. Female bonobos use sex to gain social status and brag about having sex with the dominant male. If other females are present, the female that is mating will be especially loud to make sure others know exactly what is happening.
Can we go back to that reincarnation conversation?
Yeah.
All right.
You want to be a female bonobo when you get reincarnated?
A male.
Duh. Now, where can we find these
bonobos? You want those?
Yeah. No, I don't want to.
Are you just really attracted to that?
No, I'm not attracted. I just want to know where are they? Where in the world are they?
I don't know.
Where in the world are
these
female
bonobos?
Did you call them bozos?
Bonobos. Yeah, you call them bozos.
Female bozos.
Bonozos. Well, I guess certainly there are some girls who freak guys out by doing such things.
Well, I mean, depends. It really depends what your state of mind is. I'd like to think so. But sometimes,
Well, check this out. Although dolphins have also been reported as doing this, bonobos are some of the only primates except humans to have sex for fun. And boy, they do have fun with it, this article says. Check this out. Bonobos, I don't know if there's naming a gender here, bonobos will have sex with anyone available, regardless of gender and regardless of age.
Oh my God, this is a fantasy.
With the exception of incestuous things, they don't cross that line.
Perfect.
Females frequently rub their clitoris together, and males even stand face to face and sway their hips from side to side, a process they call penis fencing. Oral sex and mutual masturbation are also quite common.
These guys know how to party, man.
Bonobos will also use... Wow, this is kind of like Hollywood. Bonobos will also use sex to move up in social status. When a new bonobo joins the group, he or she will immediately try to climb the social ladder. Researchers have found that when having sex with an alpha male, a lower status female will call out differently during sex and brag about it.
Oh, now I get it.
This is particularly true if higher-ranking females are around to see and hear the exchange.
Chris, this all makes sense now.
Yeah.
This all makes sense now. Oh, my God.
So basically, their Hollywood is found in the humid forest of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Central Africa. Thanks, Chris.
Shut up, Brian.
Wow. And they even get freaky like in front of their babies, like the mom and dad or whoever will get freaky in front of like the little bonobo.
Right.
Before you go.
These bonobos have to be put in jail.
Summertime sadness.
Yeah, I wonder if they suffer from summertime sadness.
That baby, they're the best.
And
got that summertime sadness. Summertime sadness.
This is what they dance to.
That's summertime.
This is what the bonobos do the penis fencing with.
One of the bonobos has a boombox on the African safari.
The dominant bonobo.
Hey, baby, want to move up the social ladder?
Hey, come with me. I'm the penis fencing champion of 2013.
Got that summertime sadness. Summertime sadness. Got that summertime sadness. Oh. Got that summertime. I got that summertime sadness.
Brian.
Just the summertime.
yeah, I'm still here, unfortunately.
It's winter time. Please, enough.
Summertime
Enough of that. That song's over.
Oh.
Sad that Lana Del Rey stole it from you and all.
It's fist pumping material.
There's a lot of weird, like, science-y sex stories that came out. They just released a video of of a dolphin basically using a dead fish to masturbate.
Yes.
And I remember a long time ago, a gorilla was doing that with a frog. It was quite humorous.
Yikes!
I think the frog was alive, unfortunately for him.
It's like, get off me! Get off
The dolphin has the biggest fucking milkshake smile on. See this dolphin's face, man. His jaw is wide open.
So Flipper was giving it to Nemo, that poor fish. Jesus.
They have to. I mean, love is an interesting thing.
Yeah, I thought when I was going to do the science news, I thought I would be talking about new star formations and discoveries in the galaxy, and it was all like...
well, I mean, I have some...
This week.
Do you realize how big George's Game of Love segment has become? It's taken over the show.
Yeah,
gone into different species.
See what you're doing? You're infecting us with your sex addiction and herpes.
I know.
I don't have any herpes, you asshole.
Well, I mean, in terms of planets, I think there was like another 800 discovered, if I'm not mistaken, in our backyard. 800 planets, something along those lines.
New planets? Where?
Well, it's in our Goldilocks system of the Milky Way, and these planets.
What are you talking about?
Let me finish, you bastard. I mean, apparently they have stars that are just like ours that these planets orbit around. and they're in our Goldilocks galaxy, which is basically known as the safer area of the galaxy.
Do they have any spaceships flying around them? We have to be careful.
Unfortunately, no. But these planets are habitable. Like, the only problem is that they're like not billions, but they're a couple light years away from us.
So, Brian, do you want to visit one of those planets?
What for? I mean, I would go for peace of mind, but I don't know if I want to visit.
Well, they did release some stuff this week, there are some discoveries going on about the planets around us, at least. Particularly interesting is some of the weather patterns on some of these planets. For instance, do you know that it rains diamonds on Saturn, Neptune, and Jupiter?
Oh, that's where we gotta go.
Do you have some sort of diamond song, George, that you could put on?
Yeah, do you?
I mean,
Dude,
what's that one that goes, shine like a diamond?
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Don't play no Rihanna. Please
no,
don't.
I have a better one.
Diamonds are forever.
Yeah, towards Saturn's surface. Towards Saturn's surface, the carbon in the air can be pressed into graphite.
Oh,
but
gosh.
Brian wants
They
to
have
go
actually
there.
pencil lead flying around it as all, and some of the carbon can be pressed into diamond. What does that have to do?
It's up in space. I mean, you're gonna feel lonely.
Is this Neil Diamond?
Yeah, you're way off.
Also,
No diamond songs.
on Venus, it snows metal and it rains acid.
See, I don't know if you're serious. Are you serious about that?
Yeah. It rains, there is snow on Venus, but it is, excuse me. Hold on. It snows metal and it rains sulfuric acid.
That would burn us. Yay.
Wow, that's scary.
Yeah. If you want to talk about being in hell, just go there.
Oh, yeah.
We've sent probes there and they don't last. They basically burn up or disintegrate or whatever.
Are you serious? Like, it's been documented that these,
the weather conditions are so drastic and harsh there that it's impossible to get any good readings from the inside.
Good Lord.
Interesting. Wow, I wouldn't want to be there.
Who does?
And the wind of Neptune is so fast that it breaks the sound barrier. Those outside planets scare me. They seem so dead and desolate. They don't even have a surface. They're just gas.
They are dead and desolate, fool. Yeah, and basically, you're talking about the speed of, breaking the sound barrier. That means they'll, all the buildings that we have on this planet collapse. They'll collapse.
Wow. Yeah, anything past Mars, I'm not comfortable with. No.
I don't think anybody would be comfortable with it, pal. Talking about billions of people who would not be comfortable there. Yeah.
Yeah, Mars is far.
Do you think we'll ever get to Mars?
I mean, if we stop fighting amongst ourselves, and if we concentrated on, space exploration, then yeah, why not? What do you think?
So.
Well,
I'm good on Earth.
I know India just launched a mission to Mars. I don't think it was manned, though.
Oh, what, they got a chimpanzee, something? What's up?
They probably put a cow on that thing.
Who's going to milk it?
Well,
Is it a male cow or female cow?
No, I don't think it's manned. I think it's just going to probe the planet. Now, this would be the fourth country to do so. The United States, well, collectively Europe, if we're counting missions, and the Soviet Union have sent missions to Mars. However, the interesting thing about India doing so is that most of its citizens live on about $2 a day. So it's not like an economically advanced country that you would expect to be sending things all the way out to Mars, Yeah,
it's that's definitely kind of ironic. Yeah.
Yikes.
Maybe we'll have Martians doing our what is that called? Customer service.
Martians.
Right, who knows? Oh yeah, who knows? We might have Martian currency.
Hello, this is Brad from AT&T.
Hi, this is Josh. I am calling from Virginia. Hello, yes, this is Steve. How may I help you with your AT&T service today? Hi, Steve. I can't make a call. Oh, yes. Have you tried turning the phone on? Yes. Yes, Steve. I'm actually on it right now. Oh, have you tried turning the phone off? Yes, Steve. I tried that as well. Okay. Let me see. Have you tried turning the phone on? Yes, Steve. May I speak to your manager, please? Thank you.
Or maybe Mars's customer service will get outsourced to India. Hello, this is Brack from Sector 7. My Wi-Fi's down. Oh, right. So sorry to hear that. Right. Have you tried to walk outside and then walk back inside? No.
There's a reset
button.
button.
To do with anything.
There's a reset button you should press. I know.
Sounds like a mutual friend of ours. I don't know why.
Tony Scataro in Sector 7.
I hope I have helped you and offered you excellent service today.
No, Steve. You were terrible.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Sounds like Carl Winslow. Steve!
Come here.
All right, so that's what's going on. I don't know if anything else is going on. A guy got caught having sex with a dog, but we shouldn't get too into that.
Yuck.
Yeah, we can skip that. Oh,
we did enough weird things today.
Oh, here's where I draw the line.
Well, here's a funny story, even though it's kind of morbid. That I recall reading on the Huffington Post. A kid basically shot his father in the face with a shotgun, all because his father made a joke about, him having a chance with Megan Fox. They were basically, what happened was they were talking about Transformers.
Oh, what a smart conversation.
Yeah, they were.
So what happened?
And so basically, I guess the son was saying, like, boy, I wish I had her or something like that.
Now, time out. How old was the son?
You heard the story before, right?
Yeah, I read it. 17.
Yeah. And apparently the father, said to him, like, you wouldn't know what to do with that if you had it, So apparently the son basically went to the garage, got the shotgun, and, pulled the trigger and blew half his father's face off or something like that.
Yeah, there's much more to that story. There was probably many more problems there than that.
Oh yeah, there was actually, because apparently the kid hated his father, so he would actually tell people, like, there were some stories that he would say, I'm going to kill my father one of these days, he said that more than once.
Oh, you think Megan Fox would actually be attracted to this guy now? Maybe she likes bad boys.
She's already married, and she already has a kid with what's his name, Brian Austin Green. So I doubt she'll be attracted to that.
And this guy's probably going to jail now. It's
all because of Megan Fox. Damn you, Megan Fox. But I mean, it reminds me of the kid like 30-something years ago who tried to kill then President Ronald Reagan just to impress Jodie Foster.
Yeah, that was so weird. This week, Alec Baldwin had a stalker.
Yes, he did, and that lady, I forgot her name, but she got 30 days in jail, and even before that, during the trial, she was held in contempt of court.
Yeah, stalking doesn't seem to be gender specific. There's just as many female stalkers out there.
Yeah,
I want a stalker. And I like stalkers.
I don't know. It's not that fun.
Good for you. But it kind of hurts Alec Baldwin because he had a show on MSNBC. I forgot what it was called, but apparently they put it on hold now.
Why?
Kind of because this is they don't want the negative publicity that that just occurred this past week, because it was a media circus when what was going on. So they basically put the show on hiatus.
Kibosh. Hey,
kibosh.
Okay, so all right, so that's I guess that wraps it up. There's a lot of random information floating out there this week.
Clearly.
And thanks everyone for listening. Again, To the if you want to help out with the Philippines, go to the Philippines Red Cross. And I guess just reach out to people with Facebook. We have such a interesting network to reach out to almost anyone in the world. So do so, please. Thank you guys for coming on. Brian, thanks for being back on the show. It's much more fun with you here.
Oh, stop.
I get to ignore George the whole episode. No, I'm just joking.
He was trying his damnedest to, ignore me for the most part. Blaring his music and stuff.
All right, we could cut that. All right, guys, thank you, George. Thanks so much for coming on, and we'll talk to everybody next week. See you guys later.
Bye.
Later.
Later.